Hey, hey, hey. Who's here? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Let me know. You might hear some music in the background. My office space where I normally am, the heat went out, so I'm here in the kind of like lobby space. So they've got some mood music playing. I'm trying to see who is here and watching. Let me make sure. Can you hear me? Can you see me? All right, I'm going live in two places. I am live via our Google Live, and I'm also live via Facebook. So if you're watching live, whoop whoop, it is our official, this is our second time kind of meeting, but this is our weekly chat that we do. Okay, good, you guys are here. This is our weekly chat that we do during the Live Richer Challenge, so that way you know you are not alone. You are not alone. Name that singer. For those of you who know I'm silly. And like I said, I'm in, I don't know if you can you hear the mute music? I'm like, it's mad loud, word. But I'm super excited because you have officially finished week 1 of the Live Richer Challenge Credit Edition. Whoop, whoop. Round of applause. Yes, Aaliyah, I'm coming to the DMV. I'm coming on Tuesday and Wednesday. I'm taping something there, but we're going to talk about that later. So yes, I'm super glad you guys are here. I'm coming down with a cold as per usual. Yes, Michael Jackson. You can hear the music. As long as you can hear me, you're just going to have to deal with that music. Like I said, I'm in the like this community space where my office is. It is a converted warehouse, and they've chopped it up into all these different offices. And we have community space, and this is one of the community spaces. So yes, so who completed week 1? Tell me how you feel. Tell me what you thought about it. I really want to make sure that you got everything you needed from week 1. We're going to go over it. Week 1, just so we're clear, was all about credit knowledge. So there wasn't a lot of like, you must do this task. There was a lot of read about this, learn about this, because if you look, that's what week 1 was all about. And just so you know, there's a bunch of links that I'm going to be discussing today during our chat, and all of the links that we went over are in the description of this video. So whether it's signing up for the challenge, you're like, what's the Live Richer Challenge? Our sponsor, Magnify Money. Hey, Magnify Money. All of the links from the book link, y'all know that the Live Richer Challenge is also a book that we created as well. So yeah, so all of the links that I discussed, if you want to get the book, if you have not signed up for the challenge, if you want to check out our sponsor, Magnify Money, all of the links are in the description. And some of the links from this week are also in the description. So let's get started. All right, so week 1, actually, let's just go over it, One of the reasons why we do this recap is because sometimes it can be overwhelming. Even if you're only like, I didn't even do all the tasks, it's fine. I only did 1, it's fine. I just looked at the email, I didn't even open it, it's fine. You're here now, and we're going to try to address some of the things you want to learn more about. And every Sunday, if you're watching live during the challenge, we do this as a recap, so you know that you're not by yourself. All right, so let's get started. So week 1, like I said, I'm actually going to go through the book. I'm like, the mood music is just turning up. I feel like it's doing it on purpose. Ain't nobody here but me. We don't need this mood music. All right, so week 1, day 1, you might hear the elevator. It's just a day. Day 1, credit goals. So what I asked you on day 1 was to write down and to share what your credit goals are. So what are they? I want you to be specific about your goal. Like, my credit goal is to raise my credit score 30 points in 6 months by paying my bills on time. You see what I mean? So that was day 1, super easy. I even gave you a goal sheet that you could print out and write down your credit goals in it. So there's literally no excuse not to have written down your credit goals. It's important to write down your goals because when you write them down, you make them tangible and real for yourself. You could print out the sheet, you could put it on your refrigerator, on the wall, whatever. So that was day 1. See how easy? So for those of you who have not started the challenge, there's a sign up link in the description of this video. Or maybe you did start the challenge, you got the emails, but you didn't do any of the days. Day 1 was just that. What are your credit goals? You could do that. Do it tonight. Do it tonight in the comments. All right. That was day 1. I don't think anybody had any trouble with that, but share your goals in the comments. You're going to get the book? Oh, thank you guys. So yes, the book is available on Amazon. Like I said, the link is in the description. So day 2 was credit basics. So on day 2, really we just learned about credit and really the purpose of your credit report. Like, why do you have a credit report? And honestly, here's the purpose of a credit report. It is your financial report card. Think to yourself this: when you were in high school and if you were thinking about going to college, and a college had to decide whether or not they felt like you were going to be a fit for their college, for those of you who applied, right? So they have nothing to go off of except for your report card. So they look at your report card and they see your past behavior is indicative of your future success. Oh, I had a word. Oh, right? Your past behavior. Somebody look to your neighbor and say, neighbor, your past behavior is indicative of your future success. At least that's what they say financially. It's not necessarily all the way true, but they have no other way to judge you. So they judge you by your credit report and your credit score. Your credit report is like your transcript. Your credit score is like your GPA, right? And so if you are trying to borrow money from a company, they're going to look at your report card, your credit report, and they're going to say, hey, Tiffany's past behavior shows she pays on time or she doesn't. She's late or she is defunct. She doesn't pay at all. So based upon what this report is saying about her, it will help me make a choice whether or not I need to lend to her or I can lend to her. Right? So that's what your credit report is all about. And that was day 2. Easy, right? Literally day 2 was learn about credit, learn the purpose of a credit report. Come on now. For those of you like, oh, it's too much. I know you didn't open that email. I know you didn't. Because the way the challenge works, for those of you who are new, is that you sign up for the challenge at LRC for Live Richer Challenge. LRC. I have a list, so my C's sometimes don't hit. Right? LRCcredit.com. And that was day 2. Day 1, write down your goals. Day 2, learn why you have a credit report. Don't tell me that's hard. It's easy, right? Day 3, let's move on. I'm literally going in the book. Day 3, and what I love about the book is this. So literally, it's like day 3, boom. That's all you got to do. Then you can put the book down. I purposefully broke it down to breadcrumb you to success because I know finances can be very overwhelming. And so these are not hard. I haven't heard anything hard. So next, day 3 is get your free credit reports. What's hard about that? I even give you the links that were clickable, and they were free. So day 3, that's literally it. I have a video on day 3 just because, I like to get on video every once in a while. And I say, hey, it's important to get your credit report so you can see where you stand. And so that's all day 3 was. Here's where to get them. There are 3 main credit bureaus. There's Equifax, there's Experian, and there's TransUnion. So get your credit reports was day 3. So you are entitled to 1 free credit report a year from each. Order all 3 at once, or you can order like every 4 months so you're constantly getting credit reports. Or you can get all 3 of them at annualcreditreport.com. So that was it, day 3. See, super duper, what? Easy. Day 4, right? Day 4 was grab your free credit score. Like I said, I'm taking it directly from the Live Richer Challenge credit book. This is literally the challenge in book form for people who like to have a tangible thing in their hand or just want to support the movement. It's on Amazon. They're like $9.95, under $10. So day 4 was grab your credit score. So here's where this is important. A lot of places will give you your credit score, but it's not necessarily a score that other people use, right? And so as a result, you might go and get your credit score from your bank, and your bank is like, that's cute what you brought to me, but that's not the credit score we use. So a great place to get your actual FICO score, and that's what I love about day 4, is it kind of breaks down for you the FICO score model, and really that's the model that's most widely used. So 300 is the lowest when it comes to your FICO score, and 850 is the highest. So you get your free FICO score. Discover has this great free tool. Anyway, I'm in here. Discover has this great free tool. And the tool, if you go to creditscorecard.com, you can use this great free tool by Discover to get your free FICO score. Everyone does not give away free FICO score. What I like is this: let's just say you have Wells Fargo or Bank of America. A lot of people who have those banks. So if you have those banks, they also give you your FICO score for free, but you have to be a bank member or have a credit card for them. What I like about the Discover tool is that you do not have to have a Discover card. All you just have to do is go to creditscorecard.com and get your free FICO score. That is, what did I say, day 4. See, these days are easy. So I don't want to hear, I ain't had time. You don't have time to click 3 minutes to get a credit score. You don't have time to learn about why you should have a credit report. It's a 5-minute read. You didn't have time to write down your goals. You wrote them down in the comments. You had time. You're scared, and that's okay. You think it's going to be overwhelming. I get it, but that's why we do it like this, because it's not overwhelming. And this is why we do this weekly wrap-up, to show you that you have time. You could do all this tonight. Hint, hint, right? So day 5, boom, 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 boom. Super easy. Again, day 5 was all about knowledge, because week 1, the theme for week 1 for the credit edition is credit knowledge. So day 5 was credit score calculations. How is your credit score calculated? And so that's what day 5 was all about. And so here's how. 35% is payment history. I know this is like lagging a little. 35% is payment history. And so what that means is, can you hear me? I want to make sure that people on Facebook can hear me. If you can't hear me, let me know. 35% is payment history. That means, do you pay? 30% is amount owed. That means how much you owe versus how much you can owe, meaning I could possibly owe 10,000, but I only owe 1,000 of the 10,000. So that means 10% of you're only owing 10% of what you possibly can owe. Length of credit history is 15% of your score. So that means how long, on average, that all of your accounts, how long have you had credit? You know, people, you could say, you know what? Me and my grandma never been in a car accident. She hasn't been in one. I haven't been in one. We both good drivers. Meanwhile, I'm like, when did your grandma get her license? You're like 30 years ago. When did you get your license? Yesterday. You're not a good driver, because length of credit history is the same thing. Like that, it shows that how long you've had credit and managed it well. That's what length of credit history really measures. Just because 2 people have never been in a car accident, it doesn't make them equally great drivers, because one of them has not had their license long enough. So that length of credit history helps to establish that. That's 15% of your score. Types of debt is 10%. Oddly enough, they actually like to see like multiple types of debt, just so it's like saying, like, you know, you always make pasta all the time. You're like, oh, I'm a really good cook. I make spaghetti. I make macaroni. I make ziti. Well, you're not necessarily a good cook. You're good at noodles. You're good at pasta, right? So types of debt means that like you're not just good at credit card debt. You have a mortgage. You have a car note. You have student loan. It shows that you are experienced borrower in different realms. Okay, so that's what types of debt. That's 10% of your score, and 10% is inquiries. That means anytime someone who is not you can ask for your credit score as much as you want. But when you give someone else the permission, and basically the permission is giving them your social security number. Anytime you give someone your social security number to look up your credit, whether it's to buy a house or a car or open up a debit card or a credit card, you know, then you are potentially lowering your score, because that's called an inquiry. And there's a difference between a hard inquiry and a soft inquiry. Soft inquiry is sometimes people can take a peek at your score without your permission, and they can see the basic GPA, meaning like, she's got a B average. Let me send her. That's why you get those card solicitations in the mail, because they did a soft inquiry. It doesn't harm you because you didn't allow it. A hard inquiry is when it's not just your GPA, it's your whole transcript and all your grades. You let them see that. And so, which is okay. So, but you want to be mindful of when you allow someone to look at your credit, meaning you're buying a house, you're buying a car, you're getting a loan. That's important. Like letting someone get an inquiry on your credit for like store card is not worth it. It's not. And so just being mindful. So those are the components of your credit score. There's 5 components. 35% payment history, 30% amount owed, length of credit history is 15%, type of debt is 10%, increase of 10%. That's literally what you learn on day 5. You literally had to do nothing but read. And I'm getting it right from here. Just the book, right? And so that's what I'm saying, literally. And then I always do this because I know it can be a lot. 2 days out of the week, the last 2 days out of the week, day 6, which was yesterday, was review, reflect, relax. That means go over any days that you might have missed. Think about how what you've learned is going to help yes, it takes 2 years for increase to come off. 2 years, but it really only affects your credit for the first few months, meaning like it will bring down your score for a few months, but for 2 years, it will be on your credit report. And so day 6, like I said, is just review, reflect, relax. If there's days that you missed, if you want to go over, if there's some phone calls you need to make, whatever that looks like, that's what you do on day 6. And day 7 is what we're doing now, inspiration. It means coming together to chat with the rest of the dream catchers. Say, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? I'm good. I'm good. You good? Hey, Sister Mary. Hey, Sister Tiffany. That's it. That is literally it. Week 1 of the Live With Your Challenge Credit Edition. Live With Your Challenge Credit Edition. You see how easy? It's not difficult. And I come live every week, even though it's late where I am, even though, you know, I'm getting a little bit of a cold and maybe my asthma's acting up. I don't know, my chest is all tight, right? I come live because I know that when I was struggling with my finances, one of the things that I wish I had was community. I wish I knew that other people were messing up too. Because you know, you be ashamed of yourself. You can't even look yourself in the mirror like, look at you. Look at you. Look at how you looking. Credit all messed up. Bank account empty. You stealing food out your parents' house when they're not even home. And you 30-something years old. That was my life. And I just wish I knew that there were other women out there living that same life, girl. You like, girl, next time make sure you get bad chicken. Because you know, and I wouldn't have felt so bad. And so, yes, so all of us are here together, and we come together during the challenge every Sunday to chat, because I want to make sure, one, I like to go over the tasks with you so you can see if you didn't do them because you were too afraid or too busy. Meanwhile, you ain't too busy. If you thought it's because it was too hard, it's not. You can literally do all of them tonight and get back on track for tomorrow, because week 2 is credit improvement. So during week 2, that's when we're actually going to do the work to improve your credit. And even then, it's not hard. I don't know if you noticed, so I used to be a preschool teacher. So let me tell you the gift that I have been bestowed with. I might not know how to do everything. Like, I got my lashes on now. I did I taped it was like morning news this morning talking about credit. I talked about the challenge, right? So I might not know how to do my lashes, right? Because I don't typically look like this. Y'all know I could come on here looking crazy, cute like I do now, or in between. I might not know how to beat a face. I might got a lisp. I might got the kinkiest hair known to man, even though I love it. I might have all that, but one thing I do know is that I am a teacher. That is literally what I was called and created to be. And as a result, when I learn something, this is what I've learned about myself. When I learn something, my gift above all else for me is I'm able to take what I've learned, to break it down into bite-sized pieces and to give it to you. And that's what I believe that my purpose here is to learn something. And this is why I believe why I went through so much trouble, why I lost my job, lost my house, lost all my money, no retirement, like just nothing, living off my sister's couch, taking money out of my parents' fridge when they were home in order to eat. I think one of the reasons I went through that is because I had to learn how to fix my finances, because once I learned, the teacher in me could not keep that information to myself. I started to share it, but not just share it like, girl, you can do it. I don't believe in all that. I call that Sunday morning teaching. I'm not a preacher. I'm not here to just say like, hey girl, you can do it. I'm here to say, hey girl, you can do it. Here's exactly how. Day 1 do this, day 2 do this, day 3 do this, because that is my nature. That is why I taught preschool for 10 years, because I can take something complex, and once my mind can wrap its mind around it, I can teach it to a 3-year-old. I don't believe it's a coincidence that I taught preschool for 10 years, learning how to teach, learning how to take complex things and make them easy enough for a 3 and a 4-year-old to understand. Do you understand that, like, what a blessing and a gift that is? Because I could not do this without that. So just know exactly where you are, meaning if you are struggling financially, your credit is jacked up, you don't have any, your debt is out through the roof. Girl, I owe $35,000, no, more than that in total at one point. Oh no. Well, so Facebook fans, sorry, I'm on my phone like that. I just hate this phone sometimes. So what I recognize is that all of those things were part of what ought to be, meaning this, that if that did not happen to me, I could not be here to show you. So I say that to tell you that if you are struggling financially, know that once you learn how to fix it, it is your obligation to teach someone else. It is. It is your obligation to teach someone else. And I've given you the tools. Show someone, like, girl, I did it. It's not even that hard. I've given you the tools. I've given you the community to do so. I know, like, we died. I died. Hold on, guys. I'm just letting them know. Watch here. Watch here. I'm on Facebook. There you go. So the Facebook, I was live on Facebook. My phone like died. So hopefully they'll join us over here. I'm just gonna keep posting it. So yes. All right. So let's get. Okay. So credit improvement is week 2, and credit maintenance is week 3. So you guys have any questions? So we're gonna take them now, child. I know over there in Facebook land. So I was doing 2 things. I was going live with you guys in YouTube, and I was going live on my phone. And look at this. Did pay all this money for a good. I was not gonna curse, for a good phone to do what you were supposed to do, and these things don't even work. Anyway, I'm still here. They're like, "Are you here? Are you here?" So yes, let's answer some questions. I'm here. Come and watch on YouTube. Yeah, so ask your questions so I can answer them. I just want to make sure that the people who are watching are not like freaking out, which they are freaking out on Facebook. Yeah, so let me read some of these questions. All right. Okay. 7 cures for a lean pro. Yeah, that's my great one. Let me say. Okay, student loans. How? Looking for an accountability partner. The best place, Teresa, to look for an accountability partner is in our Dreamcatcher group. At the bottom of every task, it says like share, and it shows you like on Facebook, like it shows you like our Dreamcatcher group, and there's a link there. So say, hey, my name's Teresa. Hey, I live here. Or if you don't mind having a digital partner, I'm looking for an accountability partner. Someone will step up, I'm telling you, and say that that they're wanting to help. So Self-Lender, oh yes, okay, Sisters United to SOAR. So Self-Lender, the way it works is this. Self-Lender is a tool, and I think next week we really go into it, so I'll talk about it just a little bit, but next week during credit improvement is one of the tools I suggest. So Self-Lender is this great tool where, and I would just say, wait to sign up for it because I want you to get all the information, and I really break it down next week. Is the way it works is that you sign up for a loan that you really don't receive. Self-Lender will loan you, like say $500, and Self-Lender will keep that $500 in a CD, basically a glorified savings account. And you will pay that loan back about $47 a month. And then once you pay it back over a 12-month span, once you pay it back, you actually get your money back. But Self-Lender reports to all 3 credit bureaus to say, hey, Teresa paid us 12 months in a row on time. And then on top of that, she paid it off after 12 months. And like I said, you get your $500 back, which is great. And Self-Lender does not have a hard inquiry. And so that's what I love about Self-Lender. But like I said, I would really wait for Self-Lender because I want you to really really break down. When it comes to things like that, I want you to really understand. One of the things I want to teach you as dream catchers is discernment. There are things that I'm going to share that I'm like, oh, look at Teresa, EJ Johnson wants to be your partner. That I want you to learn that even if I'm like, oh my gosh, this is great new app, that you're not like, let me sign up for it. No. That yes, if I'm sharing something with you, know that I have done my best to vet it. But what I want you to do to fully, truly live richer is to learn to vet for yourself. So I should be like the first line of defense. Like, Tiffany said it's good. That's cute. Let me get to the Googles, right? And then vet for yourself because something might be good, but it might not be good for you in particular. So I really want you as a dream catcher to learn to vet because too many times, companies will use, and I've been a spokesperson, so I'm not even saying that, having spokespeople and stuff are wrong, but my allegiance is not to companies and big brands and all that stuff. That's cute. Do they pay me sometimes? Sure. But I am here to serve you. And even if they never pay me another dime because they're mad because I'm saying this, I want you that even when I'm sharing it, I don't care who's sharing it. I don't care. Oprah says it's great. You should still be doing your own research before you jump on. So allow people like me and these other influencers to introduce something to you, but that doesn't mean that you jump just because, you know? So because truthfully, I want to build self-aware women who can make decisions for themselves just once it's presented to them. You know what I mean? Discernment. And so that's really critical to me, that like my goal for you is to truly live richer. And to live richer for me, for you, is to purposefully and passionately pursue whatever life it is that you want, using money wisely as one of your tools. It is not the only tool, as one of the tools. And so if you're going to be to use wisdom, then wisdom is not just doing something because somebody you respect said that they like it. Wisdom is saying, oh, I respect Tiffany. I'd like to learn more. That's why I said I'm talking about self-lender now. Don't go and just sign up, because next week I'm going to break down exactly how it works in one of the tasks. And then even after that, I want you to do a Google search, reviews for, to see if it's actually good. And then if it is good for you, that's when you start to move. Yep. Yes, thank you. Allow the student. I want you to be a critical thinker. Thank you, Janelle. That's exactly my role here. My role is not to just say, do this. My role is to teach you that once I'm gone, that you can continue to do that, because ultimately you are not the only person I want to reach in your life. I want that when I help you, you take what I've helped you with, and you know it so well because you weren't just doing what I said. You were actually learning that you show your mother, your sister, your cousin, your kids, your husband. That is my ultimate desire, is that I teach you and you learn so well that you're able to show the people around you, you know? And so yeah, that's really good. That's really important to me. All right, let's see. How do I rebuild my credit if my student loans? Oh, I missed it. Max me out. So if you have any credit rebuilding questions, just know that week 2 of the Live Richer Challenge credit, it's going to answer that. So I want you to hold off and go through the week. Now, when we go live next week, I don't want you asking me questions that you know was in the challenge, and that means I know you didn't do it. So this is what I want for you. If you try it and you're still having trouble, understood, because just because someone shows me something doesn't mean I get it. But I can tell the difference between someone who has tried it and it's like, girl, I don't get it. No, I've been teaching a long time, and someone who is waiting for me to tell them how to do it. You are not going to move forward if you're waiting for it to be handed to you. You have to meet it halfway. I will come to you, but you got to meet me halfway. So I want you to do the work as well. That's really, really important. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yes, I don't condone or co-sign the shopping cart trick, because one, the shopping cart trick. So what the shopping cart trick is that. Well, this is why I don't condone it. Because if I tell y'all be doing it when I explain how it goes. So this is why I don't condone it, because the shopping cart trick encourages, to me, signing up potentially for retail credit cards, which I think are not good for you. And 2, it encourages buying stuff in order to raise your credit. There's so many ways to help your credit score that does not involve you buying stuff. And to me, it just puts you in a position where, there's just better ways to go about raising your credit and opening up lines of credit in order to boost your credit report and your credit score. So this is why. Let me say. Question: when it comes to credit history, how long is long enough to have good credit history? I'm not sure what you mean, but I'll tell you this, Sharice, that bad things stay on your credit report for typically 7 years, unless it's something major like defaulting a student loan, foreclosure, and bankruptcy. Those are 10 years typically. So, having good credit history, credit is an average of, I want you to think, when you think of credit, that you truly think of it like your high school grades. Credit is an average of your performance, meaning that if you got a D freshman year in high school, that D's still there. It does not go away. People will say, well, I'm doing better now. Okay, but just because you got an A senior year does not make that D go away. It just helps to add to the average. And just think to yourself too that your grades in senior year had less pull than your grades freshman year. Here's why. Freshman year, you started off fresh. So if you got one A, guess what your average was? A. If you got one A plus one D, right? Well, guess what? Or one A plus one C, what was your average? A B. Now, what if you have 20 A's and then you get one D? It doesn't bring you to a B because the average means that this B doesn't hold as much weight. And so same thing with your credit. If you are newbie to credit, I'll give you an example. Superman, my boo, has, he had one credit card, that's it. And that credit card, it was like $500 limit. And he couldn't understand why his credit score is low because he had the $500 limit he was paying every month. But it was a $400, his balance was $400 on a $500 limit. He was using nearly 90% of what was, or 80%, right? Something around there, of what was allotted for him. Ideally, you're not supposed to be using more than 30% of your credit limit. No more than 30% of your credit limit. He didn't know that. So I told him he paid off that one card. He had one grade. Paid off that one card. He had like a 630 within 3 months. I don't even know if it was 3 months. It might have been shorter, but let's just say about 3 months, he went from a 630 to a 750. That's incredible in 3 months. People are like, oh, that's not true. He only had one grade. So when you turn that one grade from a D to an A, you got an A. Now, what if he had 7 credit cards? And then he was like, D, 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 D. Oh, I turned this one into an A. That A is not going to bring all these D's to an A. It's not your average. He might have like a D plus now. So you have to be mindful that that's how credit works. It's an average of your activities. So the more credit you have, the less that each individual thing is going to carry weight. So that means it might take you longer. Your cousin might do the same thing as you with your credit card. Like, oh, I pay on time, I pay on time. Yeah, you pay on time on this one thing. What about the other 10 things? Is your mortgage late? Is your car note late? Is your student loan late? Well, girl, it's going to take a lot more than just one card doing right by you. You have to do right by more grades in order to bring it up. Got it? You got it? You got it? Let me see. I let a dealer do the work of finding, I let a dealer do the work of finding someone to give me the loan. So Pari, if you are going to go car shopping, the best thing you can do is to not let the car dealer get you your financing. Do not come with your own financing. And the way you come with your own financing is this, is if you know you want to get a car, join a credit union. If you have not already joined a credit union, join one. A credit union traditionally is going to have much lower interest rates on loans. And that's because the credit unions are typically nonprofit or community-based organizations, meaning that they only charge you enough interest to keep the doors open, not interest like a normal bank for profit. So a credit union, I've known people who've had gotten a car loan with an interest rate of 2%. Whereas the car people charge them 20%, 10%. So come with your own financing, meaning you see a car, you like it, you've been looking online, it's $10,000. You go to your credit union, you say, I want to get a car. They say, okay, you've been a member for 6 months, you're in good standing. We can issue $10,000 toward the car for a loan. You bring that to the car company and you shop around. And when they're like, oh, we'd love to run your credit. I'm actually good, boo. I brought my money and it's at 2%. Hey, they don't want to hear that, but I don't care. Yeah, don't worry. If people are here, like, there's always going to be people who are J-Dub. I can't find, oh, there he goes. Here you go. Okay. Let's see. We're going to be blocking you. Block. He's gone. All right, let me see. Let's see. Who else? I'm trying to look for if you guys have any more questions. So credit cards are not good. No, Elisa, I didn't say that. So credit cards are a tool. So a tool is only as good as the person using it. This hammer, let's pretend, y'all know I love my lip gloss. This hammer is a tool. I can use this hammer to build this whole office space, or I can use this hammer to destroy it. This hammer is not like a credit card. It's not good or bad. This hammer does what I tell it to do. So credit cards are not good or bad. They only do what you tell them to do. So you have to decide. I know a lot of people, follow Dave Ramsey. He says, credit cards are like the devil, blah, 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 blah. But I say this, that's not true. You decide. That's like money. You decide what your credit card is going to do. If you use it wisely, then your credit card can do amazing things. I was just talking to my friend Mandy. I have a podcast called Brown Ambition. You can listen to it. Just type in Brown Ambition podcast. So me and Mandy do the podcast every week. And Mandy just told me that she has this credit card where she was able to use her points. She's getting married. And she was able to use her points to book her honeymoon in Italy. And they're going to Italy and Spain. And she had enough points to book her flight. And it cost her only, for her and her fiance, it cost her only $200 because she had points on this credit card. So that's not bad because Mandy uses her credit card responsibly and then also uses it to get benefits. You see what I mean? So let's see. Let me see. Retail send you crazy emails, yep, to get you to buy, yep. So Patricia, if a retailer sends you, you're getting a ton of emails from retailers. There's actually an app. I'm gonna see if I can find it. There's an app that can actually go through and help take you off that list because it is very tempting. It says, okay, Miriam asks, what is my advice for someone like herself? I can't even seem to get the debt snowball plan started because once the bill is paid off or eliminated, I feel as though the money is spent immediately on another. Okay, Miriam. So first things first, whenever you're starting your financial journey, the first place to start your financial journey is with a B-U-D-G-E-T, a budget. What a budget. Yes, you have to start with a budget. And so you have to see where a budget is merely a picture of how much money you're bringing in monthly, or like take home pay, and how much money you're spending out. You start with a budget, Miriam, and you see where, and I should have had it, but I'm not in my office. The 1 week budget is a great place to start. It's a book that I wrote. It's a #1 Amazon bestseller. It's on Amazon. So just type that in and start with a basic budget to see what you actually have. A lot of people say, oh, I don't have any. Your budget will tell you. I don't believe people. I believe numbers. And so your budget will tell you, and it can help you. And also too, Miriam, in that book, I help you once you figure out what your budget is, I help you activate the snowball debt plan. I'm in that book as well. Once your budget is up and running. Okay, let's see. Let's see. I understand my credit report now. Oh, I hope I deleted the right person. Yeah, we are 99% women. And I don't mind. Yes, I always say this, that we don't turn men away, but I'm going to say girl, hey, lady, just as long as you don't mind that, because my calling is to help women get on financial track. And men are certainly allowed, but that's why I'm here. I just want to make sure. Let's see. Just like almost lost y'all. Just trying to read. Got to get that book. Yes, I'll say this, that you have that book, Wanda? Good. Credit mix, yes. Got mine last week. Yes, 1 week budget. How do you invite people to this? You just share the link. Statute of limitations. Okay, so let's talk about this. Tiffany Bell says, the statute of limitations in my state is 3 years. Does it begin from the time you incur the debt or from the date that the debt is sold to a collection company? So typically, Tiffany, the statute of limitations starts the time that you stop paying, and they have started the process of trying to collect from you, right? So what statute of limitations is this one, with anything, there's a statute of limitation on any law broken. And so what that means is whoever is trying to prosecute you has a certain amount of time to legally extract whatever it is they want from you that you actually owe them. So your collectors legally have a certain amount of time. State by state, it's different. Where Tiffany Bell lives is 3 years. Where I live in New Jersey, it's 6 years. So 6 years, once I've stopped paying, and it started to go into collections. Like they have 6 years in my state to collect from me legally. That means take me to court, garnish my wages, all that stuff. After that, it doesn't mean that I don't owe. Technically, I owe, but legally, the law is saying, they call it zombie debt, meaning that the government is like, do they technically owe? Yes, but you cannot use the law to try to extract from them because you had 6 years to do what you do. A lot of people don't know that, so sometimes they will try to trick you into hoping that you don't know that and try to get you to make a payment anyway. So just be mindful of statute of limitations. Jasmine said, if you have old collections and they send you a letter to settle, would it be smart to settle or try to send a payment to delete while negotiating the price? So if you are going, so Jasmine, I actually have a really great blog post on my blog, thebudgetnistablog.com, where I talk about the best ways to settle. So read that. Just type in settle into the search box, thebudgetnistablog.com. But when it comes to negotiating, so one, Jasmine, you want to make sure that the collections is not past the statute of limitations. No sense paying off debt. They don't got nothing to do with you anymore, right? And so that's one. Two, if you're going to negotiate, so let's just say you owe $10,000. You always want to start with a low number of, one, if you're going to negotiate, the best way to negotiate is to have a lump sum available. Meaning, okay, I owe $10,000. I'm going to offer 80% off. Meaning, I'm going to say I have $2,000, but you have to have the $2,000 in lump sum. Anybody trying to negotiate $2,000, $10,000 to $2,000, and you trying to give me $50 a month? Keep that. So if you don't have the lump sum money, wait and save it to negotiate properly. So you want to negotiate, like start off with like 80% off. So 2,000 of the 10,000, and they might push you up to 3 or 4 or whatever that is. But if you actually have, don't negotiate for 2 if you only have 2. If you have say 3 or 4, then say I have 2,000, because they might say, well, we want 2,500 or we want 3,000, and you want to make sure that you have it, you know. So you want to negotiate with a lump sum. Sometimes they might let you do 2 payments, but they're not going to let you pay monthly. The more of a lump sum you have, the easier it's going to be to negotiate. But know this, the things that are affecting your credit are things that are 2 years old and younger. Meaning if a debt is from 4 or 5 years ago, I'm not saying don't pay it. I'm saying focus on any debt that's outstanding that's 2 years old and younger. Focus on that first, because that is the debt that's actually affecting your score more than anything else. That old stuff is not really affecting your score. Because think about it this way. Let's just say you told me that you got into a car accident. 2 people you know got into a car accident. One person got into a car accident a week ago. One person got into a car accident 10 years ago. Who are you nervous about driving your car? The one from a week ago, because that's recent. That shows currently you don't know how to drive. The person from 10 years ago, they might have changed significantly. So old debt doesn't affect you as much because that's the old you. They're like the new you is 2 years old and younger. So focus on working on that debt. I'll take like just like a couple more questions. Okay, please explain the FICO score versus the Vantage score. Okay, so Lauren, I love that, Lauren. You have hands. So the Vantage score, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know why they have the Vantage score. The Vantage score, typically, whenever you get your free credit report online, the Vantage score is the score that they like to give away. It's kind of like an average of like what the actual credit scoring companies hand down to them. Whereas your FICO score is the score that banks who are going to be lending to you are actually using. The FICO score goes from 300 to 850. And Vantage scores sometimes can go, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know why they use Vantage scores. You know, like when a bank doesn't even look at that. So that's why I said I want you to go to creditscorecard.com to get your actual FICO score so you can see like where do you actually stand. It might be a little bit off. Like I'll give you an example. Superman is buying a house, and they pulled his credit. I think on my creditscore.com, it said that he had like a 740. And when they pulled it, it said 736, like the actual bank. We went, he got pre-approved for a loan, 736, 4 points off. Versus that Vantage said he had like a 760 or 780, something like that. See, there's the difference. So I would go for that free FICO score. Also another that I gave away in this week's challenge was Credit Sesame. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not impressed with it because they use Vantage. I'm not impressed with the score they give you. I don't care about that. But what they do have is this. They have free identity theft insurance up to $50,000. There's a link in the description of this video. That's what you use to get it. Like you'll click on it, it's gonna say, hey, they're gonna offer that to you from Credit Sesame. So what that means is that you have Credit Sesame, you get your score, you're like, whatever, right? That's not what you're there for. But they give you free credit score monitoring. That's cool. But what I really love is that if someone steals your identity and swipes $10,000, you can go to Credit Sesame as a customer now. Once you click our link and sign up, it's free, and say, hey, someone stole my identity, and charge up to $10,000. And as long as they prove that, obviously, that it's real, you can get that money back. Where else are you going to get $50,000 in free insurance, identity theft insurance? That's incredible. So use our link in the description of this video to sign up for Credit Sesame, because that's just, like I said, I don't care about that score they give, but I do care about that free. I'm like, why y'all not telling this to people? Don't nobody care about that Vantage score that you give away? I'm sorry, Credit Sesame. I know you're like, yo, Tiffany is wild. I don't work for you. I work for the dream catchers. I don't care about that credit score, but y'all got that $50,000 in free identity theft. You better get that. Let me see. Let me see. When you settle and pay a lump sum, you can, yes, okay, so we're gonna end with this one. Labonda, she said, when you settle and pay a lump sum, can you get the collection agency to remove it? Yes, here's how. So this is the carrot, Lamonda. You're gonna say, hey, credit agency. First one, you're gonna make sure it's not past the statute of limitations, right? So that's one. You're gonna make sure of that, and you're gonna say, hey, credit collection agency, here's the carrot. I know you want your money. I got some of it. You want $10,000. I got $2,500 lump sum today. But before I give it, I would ask, can you send me a letter that says that you are going to say paid as agreed upon and not settled on my credit report. The thing is this. If say you owe Visa, and you owe Visa the $10,000, you didn't pay Visa. Visa sold it to the credit collection agency. The credit collection agency cannot take off what Visa has put on your credit report. That is Visa's business. They can only control what they have put on your credit report. So you can negotiate that before you pay. Right? Oh, look at the background, trying to get cute. Right? You can negotiate that before you pay. Yeah, so that's what I would say, is that that if you wanted to, you have to, having them remove it after you've paid is going to be difficult. Ask them beforehand if they will, if they'll take it off before you make that payment, because they're going to want that money. All right, let me see. So if you're, oh, thank you, Troll Hero, and you are blocked. Let's see. So if you want to find the statute of limitations on debt in your area, you just Google statute of limitation on debt in Michigan. That's it. All right. Let's see. All right, so we will be meeting back here. Same time, same place, next Sunday. If you're watching live, if you are watching this later, you might be watching this 10 years from now, 2 years from now, 6 months from now. That's great, and that's awesome. All the stuff is still relevant, hopefully. I don't know, 60 years from now might not be. But just know that you can do it, and I am here to help, and you are not alone. And that's it. That's it. All right, y'all. Bye. I kind of like this mood music. Someday.